Alex Eala's heartbreaking defeat left millions of fans disappointed, but what happened just moments later stunned the entire tennis world. While many stayed silent, one respected voice refused to hold back. Sandro Viaene finally broke his silence with a powerful message that quickly spread across social media, leaving fans emotional and sparking thousands of reactions. His unexpected words changed the conversation completely. So, what did he say that has everyone talking? Let's find out. The moment Alex Eala's final shot landed out of bounds at Wimbledon, a collective gasp echoed across the globe. Millions of hearts sank simultaneously as the young Filipino tennis sensation's incredible run came to a heartbreaking conclusion. But here's the twist that nobody expected. Just when the tennis world thought the story was over, an unexpected voice emerged from the shadows to deliver a message so powerful, so emotionally charged, that it has left the entire internet buzzing with shock, confusion, and inspiration. Sandro Viaene, a name that commands immense respect in tennis circles, watched everything unfold from a perspective that most people couldn't even begin to understand. And when he finally decided to break his silence, his words didn't just challenge the critics. They completely shattered the narrative that was beginning to form around Alex's defeat. While many expected him to offer generic words of comfort, what he actually said was so unexpected that it has sparked thousands of reactions, heated debates, and an outpouring of emotions from fans across every corner of the world. The tennis community has been divided. Social media platforms have been flooded with screenshots of his statement, and millions are now asking the same question: what exactly did Sandro Viaene say that has everyone so shaken? The answer to this question reveals something much deeper than just support for a defeated athlete. It uncovers a truth about resilience, greatness, and the untold story of what it truly takes to become a champion on the world's most demanding stage. As Alex Eala walked off the court, her head held high despite the visible disappointment in her eyes, the world watched in awe of her grace and professionalism. But behind the scenes, a completely different story was unfolding. The defeat at Wimbledon was not just another loss on her record. It represented months of intense training, sacrifice, and preparation that had all come down to this single moment. For Sandro Viaene, who has been closely connected to the tennis world and has witnessed countless rising stars experience both triumph and heartbreak, this particular defeat struck him differently. He had seen something in Alex's performance that others had missed. Something that made him realize that this loss was actually a turning point rather than an ending. When Viaene finally decided to speak, his voice carried the weight of years of experience and an intimate understanding of what it takes to succeed at the highest level of professional tennis. His words cut through the noise of criticism and doubt that had started to cloud the conversation around Alex's future. Instead of focusing on what went wrong, Viaene brilliantly redirected the entire discussion toward what went incredibly right, pointing out aspects of Alex's game that had everyone rethinking their initial reactions to her defeat. He highlighted how her performance against some of the world's best players had actually solidified her status as one of tennis's most promising young talents. The message was delivered with such conviction and emotional depth that it immediately resonated with fans who had been struggling to process the disappointment of her elimination. The social media explosion that followed Viaene's comments was nothing short of extraordinary. Within hours of his statement being shared, platforms like Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook were flooded with reactions from every corner of the globe. Filipino fans, who had been collectively mourning the end of their hero's Wimbledon journey, found themselves experiencing a sudden shift from sadness to motivation. The hashtag associated with Viane's message began trending worldwide, sparking conversations that transcended the boundaries of tennis and touched on universal themes of resilience, belief, and the courage to continue fighting against all odds. Tennis journalists and commentators scrambled to analyze the significance of his words, many agreeing that Viaene had articulated something that everyone was thinking but nobody had dared to say out loud. His perspective brought a fresh lens through which to view Alex's defeat, transforming what could have been a moment of despair into a celebration of her incredible journey and the bright future that still lies ahead. The emotional impact of his statement was particularly profound among young aspiring tennis players who saw in Alex a reflection of their own dreams and struggles. Viane's message became a source of inspiration for countless individuals who were reminded that true greatness is not measured by a single victory or defeat, but by the courage to keep fighting and believing in oneself regardless of the outcome. As the comments continued to pour in and the discussions grew more intense, it became increasingly clear that Sandro Viaene had accomplished something remarkable with his words. He had changed the narrative entirely and given millions of people a reason to believe again. What made Viane's message so powerful was not just the content of his words, but the impeccable timing with which he delivered them. In the immediate aftermath of Alex's defeat, there was a dangerous vacuum of voices offering meaningful perspective. Critics were quick to point out what had gone wrong. Armchair analysts dissected her game with ruthless precision, and the silence from many of her usual supporters had left a void that was quickly being filled with negativity. Then, like a thunderbolt cutting through a stormy sky, Sandro Viaene stepped forward with a message that addressed the situation with remarkable clarity and emotional intelligence. He spoke about the intense pressure that comes with representing an entire nation on the world stage, the weight of expectations that rests on the shoulders of young athletes like Alex, and the incredible achievement of simply competing at Wimbledon, a feat that thousands of players around the world can only dream of achieving. Viane's words carried a sense of authority and authenticity that immediately silenced the critics and gave fans something truly meaningful to hold on to. He challenged the perception that defeat equals failure, pointing out that every legendary champion's journey is paved with moments of loss that ultimately lead to greater victories. This perspective was particularly significant for Filipino fans who had invested their hearts and hopes in Alex's Wimbledon campaign. Viane's message served as a powerful reminder that their support should not be conditional on victory, but rather grounded in appreciation for the courage it takes to compete at the highest level. The emotional resonance of his words was so strong that even those who had never watched a tennis match found themselves moved by his defense of a young athlete's dignity and potential. The final chapter of this unfolding story is perhaps the most surprising of all. Sandro Viaene's message has not only changed the conversation around Alex Eala's Wimbledon defeat, but it has also sparked a broader discussion about how we measure success in sports and in life. His fearless commentary has reminded everyone that the true test of character is not how we handle victory, but how we respond to defeat with dignity, determination, and the unwavering belief that better days lie ahead. For Alex Eala, the support and validation from someone as respected as Viaene could prove to be exactly what she needs to fuel her continued development and chase her dreams with even greater intensity. The tennis world has been reminded that championships are not won overnight, and that every great champion's journey is defined as much by their defeats as their victories. As the dust settles on this unexpected controversy and the reactions continue to pour in from around the world, one thing has become absolutely clear. Alex Eala's story is far from finished. In fact, if Sandro Viaene's powerful words hold any truth, the best chapters of her career are yet to be written. The defeat at Wimbledon may have ended her campaign, but it has opened a new chapter of belief, resilience, and determination that promises to make her comeback story one of the most inspiring narratives in tennis history. The entire world is now watching with bated breath, waiting to see what this incredible young athlete will do next. Her journey is a testament to the power of perseverance and the impact that one person's belief can have on an entire nation's hopes and dreams. If you enjoyed this latest tennis update and want to stay ahead of the biggest stories in the world, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe to the World Zone right now. Turn on the notification bell so you never miss a moment of the action. See you in the next video.